Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Inspired Ideas podcast. I am Diane Cunningham Ellis, your host, and I am here today with my friend and a woman from my mastermind, Susan Alston Richardson. And we're going to be talking a little bit about her books and her World of Food community, which we always want to emphasize is about unity. And so, Susan, go ahead and introduce yourself. I'm so excited that you're here.
Well, like you said, I'm Susan Alston Richardson, and I like to tell people that I'm a retired teacher, K-12 master's, and a retired master's dietitian. I've owned a retreat center and taught, conducted, and hosted retreats. And now I am a transformation life coach and life purpose coach. And I write books and I encourage people. I like to use my 4 E's. I enlighten, I enliven you, I encourage, and I empower you. And I do that in lots of different ways. One
Mm.
of them is my new membership, our World of Food community. Others are my books and my new program that's coming out in March. It goes along with the Becoming the Phoenix, ABCs of Transformation book, and the Pause Journal Experience. I live in Arizona and New Mexico, and I'm getting tired of traveling back and forth that way.
Well, I love you, and I've known you for a long time and gotten to know you better and better and better over the last few years as you've been in the mastermind. Yeah, but we figured out that we met, gosh, probably, I don't even know, 15 maybe years ago. Could that be true? I think it could.
At least.
And so it's interesting how we meet people along the path, and then and sometimes it's an instant connection and they want to jump into your world, and sometimes it takes longer. But that's the truth about really community. I mean, community is about building these long-term relationships. So tell us why you shifted. You shifted last year and created something brand new. And so tell us a little bit about how that birthed for you related to the our World of Food community.
I was watching an interview by Omar Villafranco on CBS one evening, and he was interviewing the world's only taco editor. And yes, for Texas Monthly. And he got to talking about the fact that people are very possessive of their foods.
Mm.
It's the Sinaloa taco, or it's the Tex-Mex taco, or it's this, or it's that. And they're not willing to expand their horizons because that's the only one. And he said the food is not the people. The people are the food.
Mm.
By sharing and connecting together and learning and growing is the only way that you can be part of that. And that to me struck as community. How to have a community with unity, not arguing, not being divisive or talking about all the negative things in the world, but coming together to make positive relationships, have positive interactions, learn, grow. One of my strengths is I'm a philomath. Get that? I had to look it up. It came up on my strength finder. So a philomath is a person who is a studier and a learner. And that would be me to the T. And I realized that God was placing in me all the things I've done in my life: dietitian, nutrition, food, teacher of all ages, coordinator of communities in a retreat format, and that this is and writer of books about transforming. This was something that brought it all together in a very, not a very, but a lower key way in our really busy, high energy, too high tech, in my opinion, world.
Mm-hmm.
So I created our World of Food community, which is a monthly membership. I've been doing too much talking today. A monthly membership, and we come together. We always possible. We have email delivery with all the information. We have an in-person group that meets, one right now in Tucson, but we're going to be starting more. We have a Zoom meeting at the end of the month to discuss everything we've learned and figured out and whatever. And we have a private Facebook group that we can interact on any level at any time. And so we try to keep that as positive as possible, like I said, and we create a community with the emphasis on unity, bringing people together, not apart. We've been isolated way too long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just have watched, because I've been behind the scenes, I've watched from before this and after this in your journey in the mastermind. And the mastermind I'm talking about, for the sake of our listeners, is my long running mastermind, which has had a couple names. Susan's been a part of 3 or 4 of those versions, and it's called Braver Together Mastermind. And if you want to get information about that, go to dianecunningham.com/mastermind. But it's been so great to see you become more and more you. And I love what you just said, because really, the more we tap into all of our pieces, right? It's just like this giant tapestry behind the scenes. And then we're kind of we're picking one, and but with what you've just created over the last year, basically, you've pieced together a beautiful mosaic, right? And it combines all your gifts. It brings people together. It, community, there's 2 separate words that were joined together. And we do come together for the food. We do come together for fellowship. We've been doing that for thousands of years, right? And you basically crafted a program that is really just a beautiful gift to the world. And so I've been excited to watch you and I'm a member of the World of Food community, our world, sorry, I keep saying it wrong, our World of Food community. And what has it felt like for you watching people, and we all want things to go faster than, we always want thousands of people to run towards our thing, right? But what's it been like for you to have members be a part of this for you this last few months and year?
Well, I love getting to know all the different aspects of people, and in different ways. A lot of my members I know in other things,
Mm-hmm.
most everybody, but I've gotten to know them in new ways,
Mm-hmm.
and I've gotten to experience their outlook on the world and how they perceive and receive information about the world around them. And that's fascinating. It's, really interesting. I just today on one of our meetings, I was talking to someone, and you know her, and she said, I'd really love to join your group, but I'm not a foodie. Well, you don't have to be a foodie. Food is the key that opens the door
Mm-hmm.
to being part of the community.
Mm-hmm.
And we do a lot of other things. I call it sitting down at the table and breaking bread, both figuratively and literally,
Mm-hmm.
either in person or other. And it really is a way to open yourself up, and for others in the group that have been part to open themselves up
Mm-hmm.
and exchange and learn fascinating things. We have a woman from Australia who gets up at 4 a.m. to be on our Zoom at the end of the month,
Mm-hmm.
faithfully every month. And she is amazing because she's a world traveler, but very down to earth, a former teacher. And she just has so much to offer in every single way. And she tries all the new things, and she's just excited. And I think if somebody halfway across the world can do that, anybody can.
Right. Yeah, I love that, because food is, obviously we're built to need food, and we can either do it, in protein bars or sitting down at there's lots of easy ways to kind of, I guess, get a little bit of fuel. But the bigger fuel, the fuel with a capital F, excuse me, I apologize. The fuel with a capital F, and I'm just making all this up off the cuff, as you know, but the fuel with a capital F is also has the fellowship included, right? And it's not us eating alone, a TV dinner or the drive-through. It is us sitting down at the table and allowing conversations to birth, allowing community to happen. And truly a lot of families don't know how to, some people don't come from the culture of that. That wasn't part of their growing up. I think that's true. It was true for my family growing up. We all ate dinner together, and that's what we did. But I do know a lot of people that didn't happen. And so it's a skill, it's a practice, it's a habit, and learning to have open-ended, beautiful conversations. It is also if we get out of that practice, sometimes we get a little rusty because there's topics that really just divide people. And you already mentioned this, there's topics that divide and there's topics that unite.
And nobody ever wins an argument. So arguments aren't really part of our group, we hope. But I just had a brain aha with your word fuel. And so you might have seen me looking down because I was trying to write it down before I forget it, because I'm a little bit ADHD, a lot bit. Anyway, fuel, fellowship, unity, education, and love.
Ooh, girl.
That's basically what fuels our community.
Oh my gosh. Well, I love that I was a part of that. So, I love, yes, fuel. So let me switch gears here for a minute because I want to make sure we talk about all sorts of cool things. Susan has 2 books. Do you have any others, or is it just 2 right now?
Just 2 right now.
Yeah, I know more are coming. There's always more coming, right? So Susan has these 2. If you're watching us on YouTube, there's the first one was the Pause Journal, and then the newest is Becoming the Phoenix. So Susan, tell us what it's been like to become a published author.
It's exciting. Back in high school, I took a test in 9th grade with my counselor at school, and I had just moved from a very rural section to New Jersey, and I was lost. And so he was doing all kinds of things to try to get me on excited about continuing and moving on. So he did this test, and it came out that I should be a journalist. And I thought, really? Not. And so, that sat way back in the back of my head all my life. And I have written some other things that some of my English teachers have wanted me to publish, and I was, nah, I'm not doing that. So I think when we got locked down and I got to open up my brain a little bit from the rat race, it came to me that I am in the business of cultivating. I'm a resourcer for people, and I'm a cultivator for people, and I'm a good teacher, and I'm a good learner. So those combine to what is it that I needed to learn myself that I could pass on to others. And the first one was pause. I'm not good at pausing. So I created a book that allowed you to go to different places and sit and go through an awareness exercise using all your senses, and then journal about it. And then it gives you some quotes to inspire you, both world quotes and scripture to inspire you, and you move on to the next, and there's 15 different sites. So that kind of got me to do that, because I'm not going to do something for others that I haven't done myself.
Right.
Which led to the long and coming Becoming the Phoenix. And that was a gift. That wordage was a gift from God. The whole title of the book is Becoming the Phoenix, the ABCs of Transformation. Out of the ashes we rise. And it's about the phoenix who dies every 500 years and rises anew out of the ashes. And that's what transformation is. Right. It's a daily, a monthly, a lifelong thing that we do. We transform and change all the time, whether we like it or not, whether we know it or not. So I wrote this, and it's kind of what Diane has been teaching us in one of her masterminds about shook quotes. which are short books that basically get you motivated to go dive deeper.
Mhm.
This is a shook book.
Yeah.
It's a little bigger than most shook books as far as size wise, but it's about the same page. It's a short read,
Yeah.
and it goes through all the different ABCs of transformation and gets you into the mindset of that and where you want to go, where you might want to go, where you don't want to go, but
Mhm.
have to go.
Mhm.
And so just reading one little thing um, on the my four E's, I don't speak a lot about God in this book, although God is an important and an intricate part of my life. It's not my purpose to tell you what to believe and value in your life. It is my desire to use the gifts of the four E's: enlightenment, enlivenment, empowerment, encouragement, that God has given to me to help you find your own personal beliefs, values, and resulting purpose and direction for your life. This can in turn lead you on the transformational path that is best for you.
Mhm.
And that's basically what the book is about.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, I read it, and it's really good. So, I love that you are kind of stepping into that writer part of yourself and the journalist. And I remember too growing up thinking and writing in one of my journals at the time, I want to be a writer, and I wanted to be, it's like, okay, I guess I am. I guess I did that, right? Uh, so you've been a part of, I want to just really honor the journey you and I've been on in the mastermind. And so you've been in the mastermind for, I don't even know, 4 or 5 years. Is it 4? Okay, good. Good. I lose track of everybody, but you are a longtime member of my mastermind and an alumni. And so what do you have to say? What does the mastermind mean to you?
Well, I'll start a little bit before the mastermind, how I creeped into your world after being in the background forever. Um, we met about 15 years ago, but I don't think either of us really remembered it until we got together for the mastermind. So I creeped in one of your 3-month programs,
Yeah.
trying to better myself, basically, doing some transformation of my own. When I realized that I couldn't do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
One of the greatest gifts of the mastermind and your mastermind is that we do it together.
Right.
And that's one of your things is braver together. You can step out a lot easier when you have someone holding your hand,
Mm-hmm.
pushing you off the ledge, catching you when you fall.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of the mastermind. And for me, in an isolation period, that's when I started. It was a connection. It was a
Mm.
community that was created around me that allowed me to move forward and strive and not get bogged down in the negativity and the mire of that situation. I
Mm-hmm.
call that back time the dark ages right now. I don't refer to diseases at the time. But so it's just been better and better. And it's improved over the years. And one of the reasons it has improved is I've gotten to know everybody in the group. Yes, new people come in all the time, but they're quickly brought into the fold
Mm-hmm.
and almost, I think, feel like they've always been there.
Right.
And in my best is the in person. I'm an
Mm-hmm.
in person. I'm a hugger. I want to see your face
Mm-hmm.
and your body expressions because I'm a discerner. And another one of my strengths is discernment. And if I can pay attention long enough, I can see things in you that you might not even see in yourself
Right.
in the group. And also then in my me too. And that's what others in the group do too. There are people in that group who can take in something you're blobbering about, turn it all around, spit it back out into the absolute perfect way to have said it in the first place.
Right.
And that's priceless. It's priceless.
Well, I agree. I agree. And I am just sitting here as you're sharing, and I'm thinking about all sorts of different, like all these memories are bubbling up of different in-person experiences we've had, and laughter and meals and, whiteboards, and adventures, improv, string art. But even just playing games at night, these are some of the things that it's hard to say on a website page, right? You can't kind of unpack like, hey, there's miracles. I mean, I think we try to put things on a website page to showcase the magic of being together. But some of these things, it's just like you have to hear somebody talk about it. And I just, Susan is just whip funny, friends. If you're listening, if you're watching this or listening to this, the girl is hilarious. She has this subtle, snarky, a little bit like spicy. I'll just use the word spicy, a spicy wit, and not snarky. Forgive me, but we can all get snarky when we're cranky, I guess. But it's just this spicy, beautiful, unexpected humor that is just so natural to you, and I love it. And we had many times where we were all just rolling on the floor laughing, laughing and crying. But I'm honored that you keep coming back year after year, and we're excited for new people, like Susan just said. More people are coming. More people are coming. And we get together in person twice a year, so you get to have all that juicy hugs and humor and community at the table. It's pretty cool.
Well, and people go away for a while, but they come back. So that says something for the community,
Right,
that, there's something there that when they're not part of it, they miss
right.
and they need. So it's important. It gives continuity too. So
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So for those people that want to check out your website, your books, your join your food community, tell us a little bit more about how they can find you.
my website is susansource.com, and there's two S's in the middle. So it's susanssource.com. And on there, you'll see all things transformation. Our World of Food community pops right up. Some freebies that would get you to understand a little bit more about transformation and how that works. It might work for you. And coming soon, well, March, that's soon for me. The Becoming the Phoenix and the Pause Journal are going to be part of a program to actually help you with workbook toolkit meetings, work through any transformation you might have, long or short. And I think it will be a positive addition to many people's lives. So
That's
susansource.com.
Yeah, I mean, that's exciting that that's coming around really soon. And that will be here in just a split second. As we know, time goes fast. Is there anything else that you would want to close before we, run off to our next Zoom? Any words of wisdom is there a quote or a scripture you love? I know that there's a lot of really great quotes in your book, but is there one of your favorites that you have memorized?
You know what? I try not to memorize things anymore because I used to have to do that in the 12 years of piano I took.
Mm,
And you know what? I've got to tell you the story. I have been in your group for more than 4 years. I still don't remember your Zoom number. I have to look it up every time because I choose just to keep so much stuff in my brain. So
yeah.
as we're speaking, I'm looking up my favorite quote from the Bible, Isaiah. It has led me through. I'm also John Maxwell trained,
Hmm.
and it led me through. Uh, Putting Your Dream to the Test was one of my favorite books of his,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where you take your dream, which mine was a retreat center, and you do the hard work on it, the finances, the everything. And see if I can find it. Oh, oh, here we are, just blobbing away here, and I'm not finding it. Uh, okay, here we are. It's from Isaiah 43:18 and 19. Do not remember the former things,
Mm-hmm.
nor consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it springs forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert.
Mm.
And that's where I live, in the wilderness and the desert in Arizona, New Mexico. And I believe that God brought me to those places for me to do a new thing and have it spring forward.
I agree. I agree. And you really have you just have such a legacy of that. So it's evident, you know, I would we have sometimes we act like we haven't done anything, and then you like that's why there's such a power in a mastermind. It's like, wait a minute, what are you saying? Like, what, you have so much expertise, you have so much wisdom, you have so much training, skills, abilities, degrees, certifications, and then we act like, okay, well, we just plopped like a newborn baby in entrepreneur land, and none of that counts anymore. It all counts. It all counts. So anywho, you and I could talk forever, but we already set the plan at the beginning that we were going to be short and sweet and to the point. So thank you so much, Susan, for coming on my podcast. And thank you all for listening. And we will catch up with you soon. Go check out Susan's website, and you can find me at dianecunningham.com. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.